Hi everyone, my name is Viva Ricarda. I'm the founding director of Navigate Business Recovery. Today I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of bankruptcy. All you need to know. Bankruptcy, just saying the word makes people panic. But is it really the financial death sentence that people make it out to be? Not necessarily. Today, let's break it down. The good, the bad, and the tricky bits all in between, including the restrictions and the offences. If you're considering bankruptcy or just want to understand it better, then you need to watch this till the end. The pros of bankruptcy. So let's start with the positives, because yes, there are some positives. If you're drowning in debt and creditors won't stop chasing you, bankruptcy can be a lifeline. Once you're declared bankrupt, those endless calls and letters just stop. You get legal protection, giving you some much needed breathing space. Another huge benefit is a fresh start. Most debts, like your credit card debts, your loans, your utility bills, are all discharged and written off after you've been discharged after 12 months. And yes, your credit rating will take a bit of a hit, but for many, they look at that to rebuild from scratch, and it's really worth it. So, summary: bankruptcy stops creditors harassing you and wipes out most of your debts, giving you a really good fresh start. The cons of bankruptcy: of course, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Life never is. The biggest downside: you could lose your valuable assets. If you own a home with equity, it might have to be sold to pay your creditors. If you've got a car that's worth more than about £2,500, £3,000, your savings, sentimental possessions, they can also be taken too. The financial impact doesn't just stop there. Bankruptcy stays on your credit file for 6 years, making it tough to get loans, credit cards, or even a mortgage. Renting a property can also be a bit of a headache, because many landlords will run a credit check and will find out on your credit file that you're bankrupt. Plus, if you work in finance or law, bankruptcy could also affect your career. Then there's the emotional toll. Bankruptcy is public. You can find the details online on the Insolvency Service register for anyone to see. For some, the stigma is worse than the financial hit. So in summary, bankruptcy means losing your assets, struggling with credit for years, and dealing with public records and the stigma. The restrictions. Now let's talk about the restrictions, because these are often overlooked. When you're bankrupt, there are strict rules. You can't borrow more than £500 without telling the lender you're borrowing the money from that you're an undischarged bankrupt. Can't be a company director without court permission. Certain business roles are also off the limit. Most of these restrictions can last 12 months. But if the official receiver suspects that there's been some misconduct, reckless spending, running up debts knowing that you're not going to pay them back, or giving away assets before going bankrupt, then they're going to give you a slap on the wrist and give you a bankruptcy restriction order, a BRO, which can extend up to 15 years. That's a long time to be financially limited. In summary, bankruptcy comes with restrictions, and if misconduct is found, these can last up to 15 years. Let's now talk about bankruptcy offences. So we have some really serious stuff going on up here for bankruptcy offences. This is where people cross the line into illegal territory, hiding assets, transferring property to friends or family, or keep it just to try and keep it safe, or not declaring all of the income and the debts. These, in some cases, can be criminal offences. If you're caught, you're looking at fines, extended restrictions, and in extreme cases, even some prison time. In summary, trying to cheat the bankruptcy system is a criminal offence and can lead to fines and even some jail time. So what are my final thoughts? So where does this leave you? Bankruptcy isn't a decision to rush into the legal process, but it's also the last resort. There are other options like individual voluntary arrangement, IVAs, debt management plans, or even informal agreements with your creditors. These might work just as well without the long-term impact. If you're at a point where bankruptcy seems like the only way to get out, and then you need to get some expert advice first. A good advisor like me will help you understand your options and, most importantly, steer you away from the mistakes that could lead to extended restrictions and some legal trouble along the way. So, quick recap. Bankruptcy stops creditors' harassment and clears most of your debts and writes it off. You could lose your assets and your credit takes a hit. There are restrictions that can last up to 15 years. Bankruptcy offences are criminal and have serious consequences. It's the last resort, so always explore the alternatives first. Think once, think twice. So what do you think? Is it a fresh start, or is it a necessary evil? Let me know in your comments below.